Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to do some more. We're going to start doing reading. We're going to read Suzanne Cooper, The Dark is Rising sequence, The Greg King. It's one of my new books. So y'all, let's read the first chapter of the book. Chapter 1, The Otis Hills. You remember Mary had said, they all speak Welsh most of the time, even Aunt Jen. Oh dear, and Will, said Will. Don't worry, his sister said. Sooner or later they switch to English. If they see you're there, just remember to be patient, and they'll be extra kind of because of your having been ill. At least they were to me, after my mumps. So now Will stood patiently alone on the windy gray platform of the small of Tywin in a thin drizzle of October rain, waiting while two men in the navy blue railway uniform argued earnestly in Welsh. One of them was small and with the gum-like, the other had a soft, squishy look like a man made of dough. The gum caught sight of Will. Burrish Bond, he said. Excuse me, Will said. My uncle said he'll meet me off the train, in the station yard. But there's no one outside. Could you tell me if there's anywhere else he might be? He might have met. The gun, the gunner shook his head. Who's your uncle then? Inquired the soft-faced man, Mr. Evans from Farm being Brian Krug. Farm, Will said. The Guam chuckled gently. David Evans will be in a bit late. Boy back. Patch. You have a nice dreamer for an uncle. David Evans will be late for the last trump sounds. You just wait a while. On holiday is a bright, dark eyes peered inquisitively into his face. Sort of, I've had hepatitis. The doctor said I had to come away to Cavalsis. Ah, the man nodded his head sadly. You look a bit peaky. Yes, come to the right place though. The air on the coast is very relaxing, they said, very relaxing, even at the time of year. A clattering roar came suddenly from beyond the ticket office, and throughout the barrier was saw a mud-streaked Land Rover drive into the yard. But the figure that came bounding out of it was not that of the small and neat farmer be vaguely remembered. It was a wiry, gangling young man, jerkling, thirsting out his hand. Will, is it? Hello? Hello? Thou sent me to meet you. I'm Rise. How do you do? Will knew he had two grow-up Welsh cousins, old as the oldest brothers, but he had never set eyes on either of them. Rise scooped up his suitcase and has been a matchbox. That's all you have. Let's be off then. He nodded to be railwayman Sadacha. Lon Dolchish said to Gumum. Kara Dog Purchase was asking for you or your father runabout this morning, something about dogs. A pity you haven't seen me at all today, Rhea said. The Grom grinned. He took Will's ticket. Get yourself healthy now, young man. Thank you, Will said. Perched up in the front of the Land Rover, he peered out at the little gray town as the windscreen wipers tied in the van. Twitch Creek, Twitch Creek. To banish the fine misty rain from the glass, deserted shops line the little streets. And a few, bent figures in raincoats, coast secured by, he saw a church, a small hotel, more neat houses. Then the road was winding, and they were about between trim hedges, with open fields. Open fields beyond, and green hills rising against the sky. A gray sky, featureless with mist. Rise seemed shy. He drove with no attempt at talking. Through the engine made so much noise that conversation would have been hard in any case. Past gaggles of silent carriages that he drove the bumps that as announced vacancy or bed and breakfast waiting for lonely now that most of the holiday visitors were gone. Rouse turned the car in land towards the mountain, and almost at once Will had a strange new feeling of enclosure, almost of immense. means the little road was narrowed here like a tunnel with its high grass, banks, and looming hedges like green walls on either side. Whenever they passed the gap where a hedge opened a field through a gate, he could see the green-brown bulk of hillsides rearing up to the gray sky. And ahead, a bend in the road showed up as briefly through the trees as higher. Fold of gray hills loomed in the distance, disappearing into ragged clouds. Will felt he was in a part of Britain like none he had ever known before, a secret enclosed place, with powers hidden in the surrounded centuries at which he could not begin to guess. He shivered. In the same moment, as Raz swung round a tight corner towards the narrow bridge, the Land Rover gave a strange, jerking leap and lurched down to one side. Towards the hedge, braking hard, Raz hauled at the wheel and managed to stop at an angle that seemed to indicate one wheel was in the ditch. Dang, he said with force, opening the door. Will scrambled after him. What happened? There is what happened. Raz pointed a long finger at the near side front wheel, its jaw pressed hopelessly flat against a rock juggling from the hedge. Just look at that. Just look at that. Ripped that right open, and so thick that tries are. You would never think his white. Raz's husky voice was high with astonishment. What's the rock lying on the road? Raz shook his curly head. Goes onto the hedge. Huge. It is. Dash just went in. I used to sit on the rock when I was half your size. Wondered that banished his shyness. What made the car jump then? That's so funny thing. Seemed to jump, she did, right onto it sideways. It wasn't the tripe blowing that feels quite different. He straightened it, brushing away from the rain, blinked his eyebrows. Well, it will change. Now. Okay, Will said, hopefully, can I help? Rose looked down at him. At the shuttered eyes and the appalled face beneath the thick, straight brown hair, he grinned suddenly directly at Will for the first time since they had met. It made his face look quite different, untroubled and young. Here you come down after being so ill to be put young. Here you come down after being so ill to be put down together again, and I am have to have you out in the rain changing an old wheel. Man, you would have 50 fits back in the warm if you go on. He moved around to the rear door of the squeezed little car and began pulling out tools. Will clambered up obtainably up in the front of the Land Rover again. It seemed a warm, cozy little box after the child met chill wind blowing the drizzle into his face out of the road. There was no sound there among their open fields and the looming hills, but the soft whine of the wild wind of telephone wires, and the occasional deep bath from a distant sheep, and the rattle of a spinner was undoing the bolts that secured the spare wheel to the back door. Will leaned to the back of it against his seat, closing his eyes. His illness had kept him in bed for a long time in a long blur of ache and distress, and feeling anxious faces, and although he had been back on his feet for more than a week, he still grew tired very easily. It was frightening sometimes to catch himself breathlessly and exhausting after something as annoying as climbing a flight of stairs. He sat relaxed, letting the soft sounds of the wind and the calling sheep drift through his mind. Then another sound came. Opening his eyes, he saw the side mirror another car slowing to a stop behind him. A man climbed out, thick-set, chunky, wearing a flat cap and a raincoat, flapping over rubber boots. He was grinning for no good reason. Will instantly disliked the grin. Rhymes opened the back of the Land Rover again to reach for his jack, and Will heard the news column corner agree in the relish. The words were unintelligible, but they had unmistakable jarring tone. All of his short conversation delay is open, and the meaning of Will has understood every word. The man was clearly mocking Rise for a wheel in the rain. Rouse answered curtly but without crossness. The man looked deliberately into the car, walking forward to peer at the window, and he stared at Will, unsmiling. With strange, small, light-lashed eye, Am asked Rise something. When Rise answered, one of the words was Will. The man in the raincoat said something else with a sneer at the time directed at both of them, and then, without warning, he broke into an astonishing trade of rapid, bitter speech, the word pouring out, flirted and guarded her like a churning river in flood. Werner appeared to pay attention at all, at least the man paused. Angry, he swung around and marched back to his car, and he drove away slowly on past them, still staring at Will as he went by. A black and white dog was looking out over the man's shoulder, and Will saw the car was in the van, a gray window that hit in the back. He slipped across the driver's seat and pulled open the window. The Land Rover gludged up in the air beneath and had the jack. "Who is that?" Will said. "Fellow clog from up the valley." Will said, and dramatically on his hands and heaven again. "A farmer. He could have stayed and helped you." "Ha!" Ryan said. "Car dog Pritchard is not well known for helping." "Why did he say?" "Let me know, assuming it was to see you stuck in some things about a disagreement we have." "Oh no," but it says, and it was who you were. Ryan opened his bam and glanced up with a shy, what's this word? Constitutional grin. "A good job if your mother wasn't listening. I was not polite. I said you were my cousin, none of his bloody business." "Was he cross?" She paused reflectively. He said, "Well, cheery about it." Okay, so we're going to stop there on page 9. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this book so far. And comment down below what was your favorite part so far. Bye.